Hello and welcome. Today I want to talk about MRTK3. I've been an Oculus developer for a long time, and I have always used the Oculus SDK because I thought they make the device. It's got to be the best one. And it wasn't until recently when I started playing with MRTK3 that I realized I don't think that's the case. So today I'm going to talk to you about what MRTK3 is and why I think it is better than using the Oculus SDK. So let's get started. What is MRTK3? It is a library that's built by Microsoft primarily for HoloLens development in Unity. However, it's built on top of OpenXR, so it'll work on a variety of devices. Now, MRTK3 has its own hand tracking, and because Oculus devices also use hand tracking, that functionality just works. And in my opinion, it's even a lot better than what you get with the Oculus SDK. So when Oculus released Firsthand, which is their hand tracking demo, I was really excited. And I went and tried it, and I was really disappointed in the experience. It kind of worked, but it didn't really feel good. And I liked using controllers better than their hand tracking. And that was a big disappointment for me. So now that I've been playing with MRTK3, they have a demo as well, and you can go in and you can touch and play with stuff, and that works so much better. So that's one of the things that I like about it, and that's functionality that you just get when you use it. So let's talk about the hand tracking specifically and why I think it's so much better in MRTK3. There's two types of interaction. There's near interaction, which means it's close enough you can touch it. So you can poke buttons and you can grab objects. That's kind of normal. But it's the far interaction that is so much better. And what it does is it shoots a line out from your hand all the way to the object. So you can actually see what it's hitting. And that allows you to pinch and grab things that way, move them around. You can drag things. It's kind of this lasso effect. So if you grab something and drag it, it drags more slowly. But it's very intuitive and it's very easy to use. I despise the Oculus version of UI hand tracking stuff. You know, you have to look at it and pinch it. They give you this really short line that doesn't show actually where it's going. So even though I do this all the time, I always find it awkward and annoying. And the MRTK version is not like that. It's way more intuitive and easy to use. Now, you can also interact with the UI in cool ways. So maybe you pinch the corner of a window. It allows you to resize it. Some of the windows have handles on the side, so you can grab a handle and you can just move it around and reposition it any way you want to. It works really well and it's very intuitive, even for people who haven't done it before. So that's why I prefer the MRTK hand tracking over the Oculus hand tracking. So what is in MRTK3? It's got a lot of UI tools that look really good and work really well and are super easy to use. They're built on top of Unity's normal UI tools, so they work just like you would expect if you were building UI in Unity. Layout groups, horizontal, vertical layout groups, all that stuff works, and it'll resize and do everything just like a canvas would. So that's really nice. They come as prefabs, so you just grab whatever pieces you want, you drag them out into your project and use them like normal. And it's really nice. So they've got a whole bunch of different pieces that you can use. Say you wanted like a canvas with a background image. They call that a slate. It's a prefab called a slate. You just drag it out into your hierarchy. It gives you a window. It's got a header bar. It's got some buttons on it, and it's got all the functionality built into it. So if you got hand tracking, you can reach out and you can grab the corner of it and you can resize it. It works really well. There's a bunch of different components that you can add to it in any ways you want, like buttons. There's flat UI kind of buttons that, you know, have a bunch of different interaction states. You know, so when you get near them, they highlight. When you push them, they do all kinds of stuff. They work exactly like normal Unity buttons do. They've got a property for on click, and you can stick whatever you want in there, and they just work. There's also world space kind of buttons, you know, that look like maybe a circle, and you push it, you know, and you can push it down and it'll click. Those work really well. They've got a circle one, they've got a square one, and again, super easy to use. So those are things that I'm going to be using. Those are going in my toolbox now. I'm going to be using them for everything. And it works really, really well. I encourage everybody to go try it. So what else does MRTK3 include? It's got data handling stuff. So if you're pulling data from a website or a database, they've got a couple tools that make that really easy. It's just 2 components you add, you tell it where to go, and it's really easy to use. So if that's something that you're doing, take a look at that. They have something called theming. So if you don't like the look of their UI or you want to change any of it, it's a couple components that you add, and it's basically like CSS. You can tell it, I want everything to be this color with this font or however you want, and it just propagates those changes through everything for you automatically. Very, very nice. So another thing to take a look at. Now, I'm not familiar with MRTK2, but from what I've read, it was this huge project, and when you brought it into your Unity project, it was a huge file rather, you brought it into Unity project, it was just massive, and it gave you all of this functionality that maybe some of it you didn't want. MRTK3 is not like that. It's all individual packages, so you can pick and choose whichever things that you want. So say you want UI, you can just use that, you can use hand tracking, you can just grab whichever pieces that you want, and they're small. So I'm going to be using the hand tracking all the time along with the UI. So I recommend everybody take a look at this because it's much better than I was expecting it to be, and it's my new go-to. So if you learned anything from this or you enjoyed it, please hit the like and subscribe. That would help me out, and then I will get to teach you additional things in the future. Thank you very much.